Hey, great. It's good to see so many familiar faces here. And like Tim said, Tim and I are jointly going to present to you the perils of joint accounts, pay on death, or transfer on death accounts. Many of you may have accounts titled in this fashion, and we're going to talk to you about why you might want to think twice about doing so, and then what the reasonable alternatives to doing so might be. Here's the problems with joint accounts. We're going to talk about TODs in a moment. But remember the client whose daughter was in the terrible car accident. Many of you may have sons or daughters who are upside down in their mortgages today. What does the bank have against me? They have a $100,000 deficiency judgment. If I own an asset jointly with rights of survivorship with my parents, can they take that asset? Perhaps. If I own it, tenants in common, definitely. So we don't want our children on our accounts. We'll talk about that a little more later. Lose the estate tax exemption. How many of you know that we have, a lot of times your attorneys, or if you're my client, we have set up separate trusts for husband and wife, right? But what happens if we have those separate trusts set up, but everything was held joints with rights of survivorship between a husband and a wife? We've defeated the estate tax planning our lawyers put in place for us. We may not avoid probate for assets that are held jointly, especially in the tenants in common situation that I described. Current taxable gift. I have an account worth $300,000. Used to be worth $600, now it's worth $300. And I put it in joint name with my daughter Gabrielle. What have I just done? I've made a gift. So you see how you can very quickly use up your gift tax exemption by making these joint accounts. The other thing that I do, I lose my step up in basis. Do you all know what that means? If I bought Coca-Cola stock at $1 a share, and I held it for many, many years, and I died, and is now $10 a share. Well, let's say I sold it the day before I died at $10 a share. What happens? That's right, capital gain, $10 minus $1. I have a $9 capital gain that I pay income tax on. That's right? But if I die holding that stock at $10 a share, and Gabby sells it the next day after my death for $10 a share, does she recognize capital gain? That's right, she does not. But what happens if we had the account jointly held? Now what happens? How many think she gets no step up in basis? How many think she gets a full step up in basis? How many have no idea and don't want to answer? That's right. Whoever said 50% is right. There you go. So we lose at least part of the step up in basis at death by creating these joint accounts. The other thing we may do that Tim pointed out is that we may circumvent the wishes in our will and trust. If I own everything jointly with Gabby, and I tell Gabby, I say, Gabby, when I die, you share this with Courtney and Madison. Okay? Let's first assume that Gabby's honorable and she wants to share. Okay? So Gabby gets my account, and let's say it's $300,000. She writes a check for $100,000 to Courtney and $100,000 to Madison. What did Gabby just do? She made a taxable gift, didn't she? Do you all see the problems? What if Gabby is less than honorable and doesn't want to share with Courtney and Madison? Can Courtney and Madison sue her and get recovery? Probably not. So you're all starting to see the problems with these joint accounts. Now, my examples, the terrible ones are typically when we have, parent and child, or parent and someone other than spouse. What about spouses?